Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Vinyl Den, your channel for record collecting by record collectors. My name is Nick.
I'm Ian.
And today, well, we're getting close to the second drop for Record Store Day, right? It's coming it's going to be next Saturday, or this coming Saturday. So today we're going to talk about some of the albums that some people are talking about. I'm actually interested in picking up. Ian has to work, so he won't be there at this drop, but we're going to talk about some interesting albums for this drop. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you click on the link down below and go check out the Vinyl Den Facebook group. It's a growing community of...
it's growing like crazy.
It really is. I think we're over 700 people now in the group. So it's kind of a cool place to continue the music conversation. It doesn't have to be necessarily about vinyl records. There's people talk about CDs and cassettes and concerts and all sorts of stuff on there. So it's got kind of a cool place. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give the old thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. Ian, what else are they supposed to do?
Notification bell.
Yeah, hit that notification bell. So unless you've been living under a rock the last couple of months, Record Store Day this year was broken up into two drops. The drop one was the
June 12th.
June 12th. Drop two is this coming Saturday, July 17th. Normally every year prior to last year, Record Store Day was the third Saturday in April. Yeah. So this year's been broken up. Last year was broken up into three drops. I guess I think I prefer the two drops a little more than the three drops last year. But
if they're going to have the same volume of releases, it's definitely easier on the wallet.
Absolutely.
To do it that way.
I also like having Record Store Day, at least here in Michigan. June and July are generally a little warmer than the third Saturday in April.
The only thing you'd have to really worry about is maybe some rain, but where we go, there's a canopy, so if you're waiting outside, you're not going to...
No, you're not going to get soaking wet. But, I don't know, I got probably maybe a dozen albums to kind of go over. Personally, there's only 4 albums I'm really looking forward to. There were a couple of other ones. I know the big one that a lot of people were looking for was the Mr. Big album. That's been taken off of the list. I have been told that it's right now it's looking like it's going to be a Black Friday release. There are a couple of websites that are listing it for Black Friday, but of course nothing has been said officially
Nothing's
yet,
set in stone until pretty much the day you get there.
Until that list comes out.
Yeah.
So that was one that I was looking forward to. So that would have been one. But so the first one, now these are all ones that I think it was interesting. Probably, I think it was right after drop one. I put a poll up on the Vinyl Den Facebook group asking people what drop they were really looking forward to. And it, there's a couple different options on there. There was an option for drop one. There was an option for drop two. There was an option for drop 1 and 2 equally, and then there was a fourth option that they weren't interested at all. I was really kind of interested that it was pretty. There was more, obviously drop 1 won out, but there's a lot more people than I thought that voted that they were more interested in drop 2 than even drop 1. So I thought it was, obviously that's not scientific or anything. It's just of the poll on our Facebook group. But the first album, I'm a big jazz fan. You guys know that. This is Bill Evans, Behind the Dikes. This is the 1969 Netherlands recordings. This is a Record Store Day exclusive. If you don't know, there's a couple of different Record Store Day releases. There's an exclusive release, which means it's only coming out on that day. There's a Record Store Day first, which means it may get pressed eventually down the line. That doesn't necessarily guarantee it's going to get a repress, but it means it can get a press.
If it sells really well, there's a good possibility it'll get repressed. And
then there's limited and regional releases. So those are really rare. Those are normally 500 or less.
Copies, yeah.
So there's 3,500 copies of this coming out. This is a triple LP. This is one that I'm on the fence for, just because I am a big jazz fan. And Bill Evans does have some great music. The next one is one that I was definitely looking forward to. I think it was one that you were looking forward to also.
Bush,
right?
yeah.
So this is Bush, Sea of Memories. This is a 10th anniversary edition. This is going to be white and cobalt. I think it said it was white, opaque white. So it's a solid white with a translucent cobalt swirl.
Yeah.
Is the way it's described. So this might look kind of cool. This is one that I'm definitely going to try to grab. This is going to be a Record Store Day first. So this may get released later down the line. There's only going to be 1,800 of these released. So it is going to be a little more limited than some of the other ones. But the interesting thing about this release for Sea of Memories is side 4 has 4 bonus tracks. I don't believe have ever been released previously. So,
and I think if it does get re-released, it won't be the colored vinyl. It'll be black vinyl, most likely.
I don't know. It's because it's been kind of mixed. I know a couple of the bigger releases from last year. I know there was the Kids See Ghosts, which is a fantastic album. If you're a rap fan, definitely check that one out. So that means Ian will not be. So, but that was a Record Store Day release. Was pink, was like translucent pink vinyl. That was reissued in the same way. There's been a couple of other ones over the last year or two that have had that same the Space Hog.
Oh yeah,
that just came out. That was on that same pink vinyl too.
Oh, okay. So, but they took them a year to re-release that.
Exactly. So
that was last year.
Yeah. So even if it is an RSD first, it could be a year or more before it gets reissued.
And if it doesn't sell well, I mean, obviously you could probably still pick up a copy then. But if it doesn't sell well, there's a good possibility they won't press anymore.
Yeah.
So
another one that I think you were initially interested in picking up. This was Cat Stevens' Songs from Harold and Maude. This is going to be an RSD first. There's going to be 8,000 of these released, though. And I know this is new cover art, and it's newly remastered also.
Yeah, I think all those songs are on other albums. So
yeah.
As far as I know, there aren't any songs on there that are unreleased or that I can't get on other vinyl copies of. So yeah. I probably wouldn't be that interested. Obviously, if I'm not there, it's going to be real hard for me to get anything anyway.
Well, 8,000 copies, that'll probably be one that'll be available for a while. The next one is one that is kind of interesting. I've been seeing this trend over the last year or so. And this is Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, Deja Vu Alternates. I know that we had the Soft Parade alternate that the Doors released last year.
Missed.
Yeah, and then they also Fleetwood Mac has done this now for Rumors alternate that they released. So this is going to be interesting. This is going to be a Record Store Day exclusive. There's 10,000 of these that are going to be available. Deja Vu is a fantastic album. If I'm going to buy a Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young album, it's going to be Deja Vu. But so it'll be interesting. At least, hopefully, this is released on streaming services because I'll at least like to check out the alternate versions.
Yeah, it's always fascinating. Sometimes some of those alternate versions might even be better.
Yeah.
I mean, it's rare, but you never know.
It happens.
Yeah.
The next one is one that I'm not familiar with.
No, I'm not familiar with this particular album.
So this is Dio, God Hates Heavy Metal. This is going to be on a picture disc, but a lot of the Dio stuff, like you said a second ago before we were recording, but a lot of the Dio stuff lately has been picture discs.
Right. They're starting to come out with non-picture disc copies now, but early on, the early days of the resurgence of vinyl, they were pressing picture discs.
So this is going to be a Record Store Day exclusive if you do want to pick this up. It's not going to be super limited, 3,500 copies, so there should be something out there. The next album is one that I just recently heard some of the songs off of it. And this is Evanescence, The Open Door. This is an exclusive for Record Store Day, 2,500 copies. This is the 15th anniversary edition of this album.
Is it their first album?
No.
But their big album?
No.
Oh.
I think Fallen was their big album. Okay. This is one, and that's why I said I hadn't heard anything off this until recently. Right. And the reason I checked it out is because there was somebody on our Facebook group that said their new album that came out this year is a fantastic album. So I listened to a couple of songs off it, and it really is good. So I went back and listened to, because I just clicked on Apple Music and kind of scrolled through some of their songs.
Right.
So some of the stuff from The Open Door was on there. So it's a good one. Depending on the price, maybe I'm kind of on the fence. Maybe I'll pick it up. So this next one was one that I don't think was on the initial list when it came out. I think you can drop me a comment down below and tell me if I'm wrong, but I think this got added on after the fact. This is the DGs, which is it's Foo Fighters doing. This is Hail Satan is the album, and this is gonna be kind of an interesting release because it's going to be the first side of it are Bee Gees covers.
Yeah.
So it's Foo Fighters doing Bee Gees disco songs, which is going to be interesting. I'll definitely at least check it out. I've got it on, I'll probably pick it up depending on the price. More so because the second side is all live versions of the songs some of the songs that were on
their last album.
Yeah. Was it Medicine at Midnight?
Mm-hmm.
The next one This is one that's kind of interesting. This is Pearl Jam Alive. And I say it's interesting because it's really kind of a single almost, a 12-inch single. Yeah. This is Record Store Day first. There's going to be a bunch of these available. This run's going to be 18,500 copies.
You said it's a 12? I thought it was a 7-inch.
No, it's a 12-inch. It's a 12-inch.
Okay.
So it's got, it's the 35th anniversary of the original promo. It's the 35th anniversary of the release. The version that's on this of Live is the
35th? It's the 30th.
It's the 30th. I'm sorry, 30th. The 30th anniversary of the release of it, and this has the original promo version of Alive. Plus, it has 3 B-sides, and I believe the B-sides
are unreleased.
Are unreleased tracks, or at least first time available on vinyl.
Right.
So, like I said, there's gonna be a bunch of those. 18,500 of them available. You know, which sounds like a lot, but when they did the Pearl Jam Unplugged two Black Fridays ago, I believe, that was I think they did 15,000 of those, and those sold out like that.
Really?
So they went.
Because I was kind of excited because I'm obviously not going to be there. So I was excited that there was that many, but that's kind of concerns me because that's one I definitely want.
The Unplugged was a first release also, and that did get reissued. It took almost a year, I think, before it got reissued. So I think these probably be able to grab later down the line. So I've been a big fan of The Cure for a long time, since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I love that they're releasing some of these Cure albums for Record Store Day. But I wish they would not release them on picture discs.
Yeah, The Cure is another band that a lot of their reissues and stuff or repressings have been picture discs. Yeah. I don't know why they do that.
I don't have any of the RSD picture disc releases of their albums, but from what I hear, they're actually really good sounding copies. So I'm going to tell you right now, if they released Wish as a picture disc, I'd buy it because it's probably my favorite album of theirs, and it's like super expensive if you want to buy it. So if it's an album like that, I'll get I'll take what I can get. But this is kind of so they're releasing Wild Mood Swings, which I mean it's a good album. And this is a Record Store Day exclusive. There's 8,000 of these are going to be available. It's a double LP picture disc. So this is a 25th anniversary release of this album. So I don't know. If you're a fan of picture discs, and if you're a fan of The Cure, I will say that those Black Sabbath picture discs from the first drop actually sold pretty quick.
Did they?
I haven't seen any of them in any stores since.
Well, I think they may have had the benefit of being people buying them more for an artwork situation.
Which I get that
because we already had just about a month or so before the reissue of those 2 albums in their full packaging. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that's why they sold so well.
Possibly. This next one is one that I was kind of on the fence about. This is Rolling Stones' Hot Rocks. It's the 50th anniversary of this release. Hot Rocks is like a greatest hits, kind of earlier kind of greatest hits album of theirs. This is a Record Store Day exclusive. There's going to be 7,200 of these. And this release is interesting because I believe it's the only colored album reissue from the Rolling Stones I could think of. This is going to be on yellow vinyl. So, I don't know. It's one that, it's one of those albums that I'm kind of on the fence about, depending on the price. Maybe, maybe not, because it does have some really great tracks on there that I don't have of theirs. But, I don't know.
Are they tracks that weren't on other albums?
No, they're all on other albums.
Yeah, see, I'm going to end up getting the whole catalog, so it's not one that I would get. I don't do compilations unless there's stuff on there that aren't on other albums.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those albums that, for some of those albums, I don't know if I'd pick them up just because I'm not going to be a completist when it comes to Rolling Stones. But some of those songs off an album, maybe it's 1, maybe 2 tracks I like on the album, so I'm not really sure if I'd buy it. But maybe I'll fill out the what I do want with like a compilation.
Well, and that's a compilation that came out 71.
Yeah.
So it would, they only had like 6 years of material, which is a lot for back then, anyway.
Especially for the Rolling Stones.
Well, yeah, because I mean, they probably had an album every year up to that point, and Sticky Fingers came out in 71, didn't it?
I believe so.
So they had a nice a nice collection of songs to pull from for that compilation.
But there's a bunch of classic Rolling Stones songs.
And there wouldn't be any fluff in it. And, anything from like the 80s where people kind of lost interest. Although, like I said, I still like the 80s stuff.
Yeah. The last one I've got on the list here is one that I'm not a big fan of soundtracks.
Yeah, I go back and forth. Depends on what it is.
It really depends on what it is. Unless I've got a strong connection to the movie, I don't know.
Or I mean, some movies just have really good soundtracks. Like there's popular songs or good songs in there that stand out. Like, I like the Empire Records soundtrack for that.
Yeah.
That would be an example of one. Forrest Gump would be another.
Yeah, that's a great one. So this is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which I was really surprised that this was going to be a really popular soundtrack for this drop. I've seen a bunch of people that have this on their list as wants for the drop. And for the life of me, I went back, before we started recording today, I kind of went back, kind of scrolled through the playlist on that. Mm-hmm. There's not a whole lot that I would be interested in.
I am struggling to remember what songs are in the movie.
And I think there's only a couple of songs on the soundtrack that are actually like external songs, like songs that weren't like made for the movie. Yeah. So I don't know. It's as far as soundtracks go, I think that's probably one of the bigger ones. I know that there was a couple of soundtracks people were really interested in for this drop that got moved off of the list.
Well, there was two that you mentioned, obviously the Harold and Maude one, and then that one.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's all we got for you today, guys. Thanks for checking the show out. I think Record Store Day, Drop 2, is going to be interesting. I'm going to be out there. There'll be no Ian, so I won't be doing a live stream or anything out there. I think my son's going to go with me, so it's going to be.
You can still do a live stream if you want it.
Yeah, probably not. It's going to be me and Jack sitting out there all night long. Yeah. So
he's a teenager. He's not going to want to mess around with.
Not that. But I don't know. Drop us a comment down below and let us know what you guys are looking forward to this Record Store Day drop. Make sure you click on the link and check out the Vinyl Den Facebook group. There's also a link for our merch page if you want one of these cool Vinyl Den t-shirts that Ian does not have and is not wearing, but I am. You can go on there and check it out.
I'm desperately waiting for Halloween.
That's all we got, guys. Until next time.
Talk to y'all later.
Peace.